Sorry, my bad. That's totally my fault. What up? What's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blaze, and this is episode 60 of the Current Gaming Podcast. I am joined today by none other than the critically acclaimed cat mom, Cheyenne Clark. How's it going?
Oh, nice. That's me. Hello.
How are you? Aaron's not here. Drew's not here. We're having a low-key show this week. What did you think about that first two-part series premiere of Big Brother episode, or season 20?
I saw
dude.
Dan tweeting about it.
So good.
Who's your early favorite?
I like Jessica.
Jessica was on last season. She's not on this season.
There was a Jessica.
There was a Jessica last season.
I really like Mark.
Mark again last season, nailing it
Damn,
with these
dude.
last season predictions. I think Swaggy C is looking pretty good.
Swaggy C.
Oh
yeah, I remember Christmas from
that was last season. Yep,
season.
From this year, and I'm really hoping Sam pulls through. She got turned into a robot, so I hope that doesn't really affect her that much in the game.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say as many wild things as to freak you guys out. What the fuck are you talking about?
I've watched Big Brother once.
Yeah, you did?
I watched season 10, yeah.
And
the best season.
How was I going to do this? I can't remember what I was going to say. Fuck. It was something about the Marco Rubio. Stop saying that.
Probably some awful shit.
Fucking David Morgan. How's it going, buddy?
I'm fucking hot is what I'm fucking
You're hot. It's a heat wave. That's what everybody's calling it, a heat wave.
I'm moving in the morning. All our shit is in boxes behind me. The apartment is just sweltering, and it's not a good time right now for us.
How does that work? Do boxes like compound heat? Do they attract?
Well, how it works is I'm doing a podcast, so I had to turn off the wall unit, and then the heat in my house just started.
Okay. So you're taking the AC away from Cheyenne?
No, we just have it off.
Oh, you have to turn it off for the podcast. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I thought you were taking it with you and packing it up and moving it.
Oh,
I
no,
would
no.
Die.
My house has central air.
Doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. But we gotta. I'll be honest, everybody. E3
we got a show
2 weeks ago. There ain't shit going on right now, so we're gonna muddle through this fucking show and try to do the best that we can with these stories that we have. And this first one comes from The Verge and Brian Bishop. He's telling us about the Halo show that apparently is coming on Showtime, and it reads: the last time somebody tried to adapt the video game franchise Halo into a TV show, the result was a mediocre digital series, Halo Nightfall. Really editorializing the news right there. I gotta be honest with you, Brian Bishop. I mean, I don't disagree probably, but like, good for you, man. But now Showtime is giving the franchise the prestige pay cable treatment, greenlighting a new TV series based on the game. Network president and CEO David Nevins is calling it our most ambitious series ever. The network has ordered a 10-episode first season of Halo with Awake creator Kyle Killian serving as the showrunner. Filmmaker Rupert Watt, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and the Exorcist TV series is scheduled to direct several episodes of the series that is expected to begin production in early 2019. Plot details are thin, obviously, because it just got announced. With the press release simply stating that the show will be a dramatization of the epic 26th century conflict between humanity and the alien threat known as the Covenant. So this really gets me on the topic. What happened to that Witcher show, man?
Yeah, the Netflix one? That's still being made, right?
Eventually.
What's happening?
It'll happen.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, do we care about a Halo show?
No.
Why is it their most ambitious show ever when it's like such a niche thing? I mean, it's not super niche, but a video game show being your most ambitious.
Like the TV audience and the video game audience aren't necessarily.
It's a weird pick for your most ambitious show.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not their
CEO
most.
David Nevins said, man.
Maybe what he didn't mean it was
David Nevins?
their most expensive show, but maybe they're most ambitious in that like it's not just like another true crime drama or something. I don't know.
Showtime is getting Desus and Mero. They pulled them away from Viceland, and that's all that really matters. So Showtime.
Well, what about
the brand is strong, and that could be your most ambitious show.
Is it like the Fall of Reach era Halo? I think that's what this means. As 26th century conflicts. I think. I don't know if they base it on like the books, the original trilogy of the books might be cool. If it's like based on like Halo 5, I just don't fucking care. You have to feel like they
be completely honest, David. Do you care at all? Is there
I would
anything
watch
that
it
would
if it
get
was
you
like
to watch this show?
if it was like a 75.
If it's a
on, like,
75,
Metacritic,
you're gonna get out of here. Unless this is like the next Game of Thrones, which it's not going to be, no one is going to watch this show.
I'll watch it.
No,
you don't watch TV unless it is like
fantastic.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
So
there's no way this show gets a second season. I'm saying.
Unfortunately, you're probably right.
I don't want to even say unfortunately. Like Halo's kind of like not the zeitgeist right now. Like, I'd be totally honest. And like,
what if they released the games on PC though?
I mean,
you know how good that would be for the series?
Well, not
people
even
are
just,
so dumb.
Not even just the game. Like the games still sell like pretty well, and they don't sell as well as they used to, but they still sell really well. When I say zeitgeist, like Halo 3 was a huge fucking like cultural shift where everybody was talking about that, and I feel like Halo has lost that like prestige where it's now in the upper echelon of game franchises.
They need to make a Perfect Dark television series. Now that would be a real kick.
What? All right, so what video game TV show do you want to see?
None.
TV show, that's a harder question, like a film. They were rumoring a BioShock film at one point, which sounded like, I mean, it would have sucked, but it sounded cool when I was like 14.
Yeah.
And then, like a show, though? Honestly, The Witcher is like a good pick for that.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck it up, but like it's a good pick. Like the mythos and the characters are all there.
Right. Because, I mean, it also has like a book series to draw from, also.
Even like a Warcraft would be fine. And those are all high fantasy shit. We've seen that done well, so I believe it could be good. Deus Ex would make a good show, I bet.
Probably some like cyberpunk shit.
Fan of those games, but yeah, I bet that would make a good show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the easy answer is a joke that I couldn't come up with in time. The best answer for video game TV crossover is the episode of Community where they get put inside the game and Chevy Chase is fighting Gus Fring from Breaking Bad about who's going to get their father's inheritance. It's a great episode.
They need to make a TV show based on Telltale Games' The Walking Dead series.
That would, I mean, no, they should, but
how funny would that be? It'd be like, and then they would make a game based on that television.
Yeah, and then they make a comic.
And then they would just go back.
When the show gets canceled, they put it in comics now, like Buffy.
It's like a fucking spore-forming organism. It just keeps surviving.
That would be cool. I'd also like to see a Guitar Hero show, but not like where no, it's not people in Guitar Hero. It's like a man trying to become like Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah, they gotta have like a documentary about that.
Yeah, I would
somewhere.
That's
but
sad.
I don't see this Halo show going anywhere. I do not think Halo is the franchise to do this with, because Halo
Showtime in general doesn't have the bangers. They had the Nick, which I liked and you hated.
No, that was
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it.
That was cinema.
Yeah, it was cinematic.
It wasn't even cinematic.
Showtime had Dexter.
Showtime had Dexter. They have the pirate show right now.
Mad Men. Popular.
No, Mad Men's AMC.
That's AMC.
They have a pirate show. It's called Black Sails or something like that. I think is what it's called.
Yeah, okay.
It's like
I mean,
show. I feel like. Anyway, I just don't think Halo is ripe for like. Halo doesn't have interesting characters. Let's be like.
Does it have
Master
a really
Chief is super
interesting story? Like I don't know anything.
It has
about
a cool lore and like overarching world.
Read the books.
Master Chief is not an interesting character.
He's a very interesting. He is a very interesting character.
You know how I know he's not an interesting character? Because I don't know what he looks like.
Well, if you read the books, you would know.
Does he take his mask off or helmet off?
I mean, they describe what he looks like. He wasn't just born in a fucking Spartan suit.
I know, he's a person. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the problem. Is that all he is?
That's
like,
Bungie's weird-ass decision. But no, like, there's Sam from the books. Like, he has this whole little squad. Like, if they made it about them and, like, fighting the Covenant for, like, the first time, like, they're like, training to become Spartans, which is, like, super gruesome and, like, brutal, that could be good TV. But, like, they won't. They'll just be like, oh my god, there's a banshee in the sky. And it'll just be like cheesy CG effects for like an hour. And I'm like, alright, that was fucking something cool.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is good. That is the one thing that filmmaker Rupert Wyatt worked on. He's going to direct several episodes.
Yeah, didn't see it.
But
no.
I don't have high hopes for this show. This show will last. It might last 3 seasons, I don't know. But no one is going to care about this show. This show is not going to...
Someone will.
Yeah, some Halo fans will.
Yeah.
Like, no one is going to care about this show.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's the key.
I mean, Showtime's not paying to get the Halo audience. I'm sorry. But this next story is about some more storytelling in games, and it comes from PC Games N. I think it means PC Games News, but maybe they didn't want that for SEO reasons. I'm not sure. Dustin,
never heard of this before.
Dustin, I don't know. I looked up what I wanted to find a news story about, and then clicked the first one. And it's about Telltale ditching their old engine. It reads, Telltale Games is moving to Unity for its future titles, switching away from the aging engine known as the Telltale tool. We've been hearing that the company was planning such a move for some time now, but new reports suggest more specific timetable for the change, with Stranger Things being the first title to benefit from the new engine. The Walking Dead, the final season, will reportedly be the final to use finale for both the series and the tech that Telltale has been using from the very start. The proprietary Telltale tool powered the company's earliest games, from Texas Hold'em to the licensed CSI games, all the way up through Sam & Max, and all the new titles built in their post-Walking Dead formula. So I know you played the first Walking Dead, right? And that's the only Telltale game you guys have played, right? I think.
Yep.
I've only played the first season.
Is that?
We have the second season.
Is that why? Is that a major reason why they're broke as fuck engine, or you just don't enjoy the games?
It's like a huge reason for me.
Really?
I like, you know, even playing that game like today, like I think the first time I played season 1 was like closer to release, and I was like, wow, this is really innovative. This is cool. And then playing it today, it's like the clunkiest shit ever, and it's like there's and this shit persists into their games like being released like today. I read it all the time in reviews. It's like, yeah, there was like a funny punchline, and then there was like a weird freeze that just like ruined the comedic timing. And I'm like, man, that engine must really suck. It's like the whole reason I haven't even played like The Wolf Among Us, which I guess is like their best game. I just like want to play it, but then I'm like, I think about like all the weird like jitteriness of that shitty engine, and also using Unity seems weird to me because isn't that kind of like not something that like an experienced game design studio should be?
Pretty sure there's plenty of games
moving up to. Like Unity seems like the place you start and then you move on to like a more nuanced engine. Like Unity is cool, but it's very much like a beginner.
Nah, Cuphead was built on Unity.
Is that true?
Ori was built on Unity.
Did you just look it up?
Yeah. There's like a bunch of games that are. The reason Unity gets really bad rap is because it has the lower entry point. And like all the asset flips on Steam are
indie devs just being like just making a game in
like,
Unity
I
in
think
5 minutes.
Firewatch is on Unity.
It's bad of me to say that. That's like people saying like, oh, you use Photoshop. That's not a real program to draw. Like, fuck off. It's not really fair, but it is a weird pick. I can see how it would work well with their art style and stuff and what they're going for, though. I'm sure it'll feel better than their fucking.
It doesn't even have to fucking feel better. It just has to like not eat your save like every third episode. Like that's really the bare minimum it needs to do.
Yeah,
I never heard of that happening.
It's like if you go on their forums, it's just people like bitching about how terrible that shit is.
Is this actually called the final season?
Yeah, it's called The Walking Dead.
So like you play season like 2 and you're like, all right, time to go to the last one, and you don't even realize that like there's a third season because it's called the final, and you're like,
no, there's actually
if it was called 4, you'd be like,
there's after 2. There's a side story with Michonne that doesn't really count, but then there is another one with Clementine called Walking Dead: The New Frontier. And then there's the Walking Dead.
Don't do that. Stop. It's so important that you play them all. Don't fucking name them all weird, you dummies.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But Cheyenne, does this interest you more in the Telltale games at all?
I mean, I am interested in them. I don't really have a good reason for why I haven't played them, because when we played it together, he was mostly the one in control. I was just kind of like watching it as if it was a TV show. So I think it's mostly just because we haven't bought any of the other versions.
We have season 2.
We do, but we never played it.
No,
so.
I should. We should. But then it's like this is the problem with episodic games. It's like then you have like an obligation to play the rest, and you can't just play like one, because then you're like, well, then I have to buy all these other fucking games. Like, I don't know. If it was all one big thing, maybe I'd be like,
they put them out in like full seasons at the end, don't they?
They do, but I don't know. There's just so fucking many.
It's like not. It's like a normal game length. It's like 10 hours probably for the whole thing.
I guess.
I feel
it's fine. I just like. I'm also really tired of like zombies, and The Walking Dead at this point is like.
The Walking Dead. I never cared for the show. I don't really.
No, it has like no bearing on.
There's no like. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for The Last of Us 2. I'm mildly excited for Days Gone, I guess, but like not like incredibly.
The Last of Us is like barely about zombies anymore. Like it's like
pretty.
It's like in the wake of it though. If they released a Red Dead 2 Undead Nightmare, think about that shit though.
That would be
fucking great.
Remember that?
They will.
Remember,
I mean, that was like their best selling
No,
DLC?
They won't release any single player DLC for that.
Fuck.
Yeah, I was about to say, remember when Rockstar used to make single player DLC for their games?
Dude, like, what if Red Dead 2 sucks? That'd be funny.
Dude, what if Red Dead 2 is like the most egregious microtransactions and everything because they're the biggest game right now?
They can't.
Hey,
they could.
They can.
They won't. I
dropped a story on here. This is gonna briefly just touch on this real quick. Did you guys see the stat that in Fortnite, the average, like 69% of players have purchased something in game, and the average player that purchases something spends $85, which is absurd.
That's gross.
But think about that as like, okay, 69%. I can do the math really quick. 69% of people spend $85, which on average comes out to riff. I'm gonna do this math.
Yeah, it comes out to, you have to know the percent of how many players, don't you?
It's 69% paid.
Of what?
85. So on average, that's $58.65 a person for
for every percent. Okay,
that's a game. That's the price of a game.
Yeah, that's wild.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
like that is. This should be the fucking new order.
I mean,
games.
to be fair, not every game gets as popular.
Is this big?
Fortnite.
Yeah. All right.
So.
But.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, that's cool. Like, that's like, I mean, that sounds like a lot of money, but if you think about it, like, I probably spent that much on, like, Rocket League. And, probably not that much, but maybe.
Probably.
You gotta think about people playing this for,
Cheyenne,
like...
you even play Fortnite anymore? I'm not, like, shitting on you.
Not
really,
a whole
but
lot.
I feel you spent, like, around that much in it, probably.
I spent maybe
20,
around
30
$60, because
Yeah.
I've gotten, like, you know, the battle passes, and I bought a skin at one point that was, like, $25. So, yeah, I mean, I've spent some money on it.
Yeah,
Is that, like... Are you, like, offended by this, CJ?
No,
like,
no.
I think it's
I think it is very much like you were saying. It's the future. I don't think it's like as step as like
it's
tomorrow.
A future.
All
it's like
games
a branching
are gonna be
path.
free and just sell you like skins.
Yeah.
No, but like I think this is a really like positive step for something. Like the most concrete example of something like because obviously there's Counter-Strike skins for your guns and there's like a bunch of games have microtransactions. But this is the first like I feel like cosmic kind of step. In the direction where the biggest game in the world, and like the reason I bring this up is because I saw this story, and then I also saw it. My mom watches a lot of daytime television, so she was watching either The View or The Talk. I'm not sure. There's two of them. One of them has Julie Chen host The Big Brother. I think that's The Talk. I'm not. One of them has Whoopi.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
that's The View.
That's The View. I don't think she's on The View, so I think it's The Talk.
Okay.
But anyway, one of the conversations was they were talking about microtransactions in Fortnite because Fortnite is the biggest thing in the world and like everybody talks about Fortnite all the time and like all the ladies on there were like, oh, I don't understand what the fuck's wrong with these kids, you're not even getting something real, what is the and then this one woman's like, yeah, I know, she was talking about it, she's like, I don't understand. And she's like, don't you play the Candy Crush game? He's like, yeah, but that's different. I'm like, no, that's exactly
No, it's not
the same thing. And like just like I don't like obviously they're out of touch. They don't know what's going on with that. But
old man yells at cloud.
It is very much symbolic of the state we're in, where how heavily microtransactions can influence a game. So when everybody talks about the whole like microtransactions are like killing games and stuff like that, it's like no, they're just creating it when used properly. And like I don't think anybody would debate. I think for me personally, I think the Fortnite skins cost too much money, so I don't buy them. But I don't think anybody would debate that Fortnite is like amoral or using microtransactions.
No, Fortnite's doing it very well.
Yeah.
They're proving that it can be done without giving players an advantage. Even though apparently a lot of people think that it does give them an advantage.
It doesn't.
Advantage. But did you see the people thinking it does?
They're dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
hang on.
There's also
Riff.
like every time you saw like a John Wick skin, you'd think like, oh, like they must be.
They
good,
mean different
like,
things. It's like, yeah, you see a John Wick skin, there's the meme where you shoot at him once and then like Crazy Tower comes up.
Yeah.
Or like no skins are like the scariest people in the game because it's just,
because they hide
and stuff
their
like
true.
that. But like
no, there was like a I swear to God, there was like a figure that said like 20% of players didn't know that buying things on the store did not give them an advantage in game.
they're dumb.
Like
They're also probably children.
But this is showing that this can be
like
done without trying to like, who was it that was trying to patent the system where like the game would matchmake you with people who like had better shit and maybe carry you to incentivize. It's like so fucking.
Or you
sick.
match made against them to show you like these guns are better because you can't fucking beat them. And show
So
it was fucking gross.
dude.
Like that is the wrong. On top of already charging money for your game, Fortnite is just like, and obviously every game can't be Fortnite. There's no like this is an anomaly in some way. But if games maybe came down, like if Star Wars Battlefront 2 or it would be 3 or whatever, Battlefield 5, if that had cosmetics, I don't know how you would do cosmetics in like a historically accurate like that's like very loaded. Historically accurate
they aren't. I can answer that. They're not.
Game like that, but
yeah,
it's okay.
If in some way, if they were to like incentivize that in Battlefield, then maybe that game's $30 when it comes out, and it's not like. And there's so many interesting.
No, they have to make all the money they can, Charles. Don't you see? That's just
we are
lost
talking
profits.
about EA. We could
profits will be lost if you do that.
Example.
Like it's I don't know. It's cool. Hopefully people learn from this, but they won't. They never do.
So Telltale's making a new engine. Telltale's getting a new engine. That's what's going on there. And the last news story of the week, because it's very slow. This would not be a news story probably, but Overwatch got a new hero. His name's Hammond, and this story comes from.
No, his name. I want to make this very clear. I'm very mad about this. His name is Wrecking Ball. That is his name. That is his name on the thing. When you pick him, his name is fucking Wrecking Ball. Some of the most creative designers in the industry got down and they sat down and they said, he looks like a wrecking ball when he uses one of his abilities. What should we call him? Wrecking Ball. And then why don't we just call fucking Reinhardt Hammerman? Why don't we just call fucking Tracer Track Girl? Like,
Diva
are you
should be mech person.
I'm extremely mad about it. Please continue.
Yeah, no, that is bad. All right, I did not know that. That's terrible.
Wrecking Ball is his name.
They can change that in the PT. I don't know. They're probably not
fucking
gonna.
Better.
That's terrible. Anyway, they got a new hamster Hammond or hero Hammond, not hamster Hammond. This story comes from GameSpot over Chris Piero writes. Shortly after Blizzard teased Hero 28 for Overwatch and revealed his identity. They revealed his identity as a cute, chubby hamster. The company has released him to the public test realm. I never knew that's what PTR stood for. I thought it was public test something else. What did I think? I don't know. Realm? I don't like that. That's so weird.
I thought it was
public
region,
test realm.
Yeah, I thought I don't know what
it's
I thought.
realm.
I don't know.
It's from WoW. It's a WoW thing.
Well, it should be PTS, public test server is what it should be. If we're being honest.
Yes, that is his name.
The name that the funny Reddit post. The reason his name is Wrecking Ball is because it places him next to Winston in the hero gallery, and it's cute.
Who would
I don't think that's
between them if it wasn't. I guess
he would be up next to
Hanzo.
Hanzo's not
right next to Hanzo. No, but Winston and
like
Wrecking Ball are both the anthropomorphic.
You're saying the overarching roster.
Yeah, they're both animals, so it's cute. I don't think that's why, but it is funny.
And though his in-game name is Wrecking Ball, okay, that's what the story says. That's fucking terrible.
It's fucking
officially unexcited for Hammond.
People are like, at 74% of people in this recent era poll said they should change the name to Hammond.
Yeah, that's
so. All right, I'm glad I'm not the only person that's outraged about this. I was telling Cheyenne, and I'm like, I've got to be crazy, right?
He would also be splitting up Hanzo and Genji because they're right next to each other on that list.
No,
too.
I don't care.
The other thing you can do is just call him Hammond and just put him like later on in the list. It doesn't have to be alphabetical. It's not the end of the world.
Anyway, as someone,
what do we think about good old Hammond here, David?
He's cute.
As someone who has a PC and played on the PTR, which you could also do, but I guess you don't play your PC. He's very, very fun, and I think he's actually the most. I think from a pure gameplay, I don't like think what you will about his design, but from a gameplay standpoint, he is the most unique and fun character they've added to the game since release. Sombra, we just got kind of like a spy with a fucking machine gun.
Sombra's fucking cool. Okay?
She's cool, like aesthetically, and like her gameplay stuff is cool. But Hammond,
she's not
movement,
like very popular like in the competitive scene, right?
No, I doubt Hammond will be either. I mean, he's great, but his utility isn't that great. He's probably the most damage focused tank. He doesn't have a shield that he can block people. His only role is to put people out of position and to just be he's like the Tracer of tanks. So essentially how he works is you can walk around in mech mode and shoot your little machine guns, which are pretty strong, or you can roll up into your ball and move around at the speed of sound and then use a little grappling hook that you can use to like whip yourself around corners, and then it sends you like charging at the enemies and it knocks them out and does like damage. And if you do that on like a archway or like a ceiling, you can fling yourself up and slam down, which does a big shockwave attack. You can also do it on a central pillar and just spin indefinitely in a circle and just knock people off the point. He's a lot of fucking fun, and just that kind of little game, that could be its own game, like that mechanic. So the fact that is its own character is like very fun to do, and he's really strong. He's got a lot of survivability, but I don't know where he'll fit in the meta as far as he's not like an anchor. He's not even really. I guess he'd be like a frontline tank. He's a little hard to hit. On console, he's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work on console.
On PC, you can just zip to him and knock him out really fast. But on console, where people are like,
how big is he?
He's pretty smaller than you think.
He is kind of small.
Because you said he didn't have a shield, and I was like, immediately I was like, uh-oh, he's Roadhog, and he's just going to charge the other team.
No, he's about the size of like Roadhog's gut without the head or the legs. Maybe that's how big his ball
like at least
is.
when he's just in that circular.
Yeah.
You compare him to another character, you just decided he is a third of this one character. That's fair.
Well, I mean, if you think about Roadhog's belly as a sphere,
I understand.
That's a good comparison, I think. But on consoles, he could, like Pharah, nobody's gonna want to aim at him, so he's just gonna go unchecked and just fucking wreck shit.
I don't know.
On PC, he's very fun. His hard counter is definitely Sombra. Because if he gets hacked, he's just fucking screwed.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a target.
Cooldowns on everything is like really super fast. Like
pretty fast. His little grapple, I think, is 6 seconds. Even his butt stomp has a cooldown, but it felt good. He's got a little self shield as well, just to kind of it's kind of like an Orisa shield where it reduces the damage he takes. Okay, my favorite hero they've added. I'd say next to like Brigitte and Moira were both really great.
Moira's so good.
Moira's
probably
compare
the best. Her.
I think that's kind of undeniable.
Moira is also like she's like pieces of other kits though. He's like very much his own thing.
Yeah.
But Moira
I think Moira has been the most like useful because she's kind of
like
I
guess
another
that's
main healer.
Yeah, okay. It's like from like a utility, and
yeah,
he's not the best, but he's I think the most
but he's
fun.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say if we're doing most fun, I think Sombra's the most fun.
Sombra is
because
fun.
she's so annoying.
I just suck.
And you can never do anything with her. Like if another team has a Sombra, it's so hard to kill her if like they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, I'm excited to mess around with him.
I'm here for Hammond. I haven't seen his skins, unfortunately. They're not in the PTR yet. I hope they add those soon. Okay. I bet they'll be really cute.
Do you think he's a hamster now, right? They'll like turn him into a rat.
He's
or
a hamster.
Other types.
I really want. I don't think they'll change his core design. He'll still be a hamster, but I want to see one where his ball is clear. Like a hamster ball.
Oh my god!
And you can see him inside of there, like maybe running around or something.
That would be cute.
He's pretty cutie.
Like Bastion, they changed the bird to like a pelican and shit like
that.
Yeah.
I think because he is the character, they wouldn't do that. But
that's a good point.
Killing him is fucking tragic. He ejects from his mech and his lifeless hamster corpse just ragdolls on the floor, and he squeaks. He doesn't have any voice lines. He just squeaks.
Dark Stuart Little.
It's very sad. But I'm here for it. I love him a lot, and I'm very excited to play more Hammond.
Cool. I think we'll look forward to that going forward. This next segment, that's it for the news. There's not a lot of news this week. We talked about loot boxes a little bit, or microtransactions.
Always got time
These
for
next two timestamps, just write them down right now, David, because it doesn't fucking matter. Because no new games got announced or delayed this week that I know of, or that are of any consequence. And there's no really popping games out next week, so who cares? So yeah.
All right. Fuck them.
Week in terms of new content stuff coming out. This is what I'm saying when it's not. Pusha T said in his Drake diss, The Story of Adidon, and in Drake's new album he confirms yes he has a kid, which is even better. It's
really?
Yes. He said I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding the world from my son, or something like that.
Okay. Very smart.
Not a terrible line. I won't deny it.
It's exactly the same as in Hunter x Hunter, what his dad says
to him, yeah.
But anyway, Pusha T said it was a surgical summer, not in terms of video game releases. Not really. We haven't really had anything coming out these past few weeks. But luckily, it has been an early year that has been bountiful in games. This is a great transition that you're both looking like, what is he doing? This has been an early year in games that has shown a lot of good titles coming out. So this is the mid-year game of the year kind of breakdown show that we're doing right now. This is probably gonna be this is gonna be the thumbnail. So get ready for that shit. So yeah, what games that have come out this year? Save some for Cheyenne and I, but what games?
Yeah, please.
3 or 4, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
That have come out this year that have really caught your eye.
Let me just go over here to Open Critic and look at the... I had a couple, but I don't want to...
I can do one off top, if you want me to.
No, that's okay. So I'll try to shout out some that I personally think that you guys won't talk about. So I think Into the Breach had its little flash in the pan moment. It didn't have the staying power of a faster than light. No. But at the same time, it wasn't the same type of game. It's a quaint little puzzle game that you can sit down with maybe 10 to 15 hours and be like, okay, I've had my fill. I've beaten it a couple times. Very good. Very good game. Very fun game. Love it a lot. Subnautica absolutely shook up the survival genre and the horror genre, if I had to say. Subnautica is the scariest game I've ever played. There is no fucking doubt about that. It filled me with a kind of primal terror that I have never felt from a artificial media in my life. The first time I was swimming to the Aurora, the big ship that crashes with you in it, and I looked down and I couldn't see the ocean floor, and then I looked off into the distance and I saw what they're called reef backs, these giant monolithic creatures that are bigger than I can describe, just off in the distance, and I thought they might be hostile. I didn't know what the fuck they were. I just shat myself. I was like, this is terrifying. And that's not even close to like what actually is in the game. But I want to start with those two. My actual, if I had to give Game of the Year, I think this is a pretty obvious pick. God of War is definitely that pick.
Be up
for
there
me.
for me too.
Yeah, God of War. I'll let you continue on with that. But God of War and Monster Hunter World, both very good for me.
Yeah, Cheyenne, if you want, I know Monster Hunter World is up there for you.
Yeah, that was something that I wasn't planning on enjoying as much as I did. Just because I never played a Monster Hunter game before that. And I think having a lot of friends that were into the game really helped. Like, it's one of those games that you can play by yourself if you want to, but there's also, like, a huge community of people to help you out on, like, hunts and all of that. And I really got into that game. It was super fun. What else have I played this year?
Can't answer that question.
I know. It's difficult to
Yakuza.
come up with them. I haven't played that this year.
I want to shout out to Yakuza 0. It's a great fucking game.
Wasn't that last year?
Nope.
Okay.
Came out in January.
I don't
Really?
know. I thought Yakuza 6 came out this year. I can't remember.
Has it come out yet?
One of them
Pretty sure
okay.
Yakuza 0.
Yakuza 6 did come out.
Yakuza 0 came out.
One of them came out in April.
That's not right. That is not.
Well, that was probably the Japanese.
Japanese release.
Anyway, Yakuza games are great.
I remember
whichever ones came out.
Because they released the
6
demo.
came out.
And it was like the
Yeah.
full game on accident, so they took it down.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was the thing?
That was 6.
Okay, this came out in. This came out in January of last year.
Yeah.
How did I fuck this up this
I don't
bad?
know.
I lost a year and a
Time
half.
is a
Hey man, time's a flat
construct.
circle.
Anyway, I was thinking of Yakuza 6. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yakuza's cool. I
For
didn't
me,
Yakuza's
one
awesome.
of my, I know Cheyenne, you played Florence. I don't know if you would put it
Yeah.
up there with you, but that
Yeah.
is like one of like I don't like try to have like my game of the year. I want it to be as like apolitical as possible. One thing for not trying to do it, but like for a mobile game. Oh my god, it knocked over my water bottle. For a mobile game, it definitely grabbed me in a lot of ways that that I haven't been grabbed since Monument Valley 1. And I really like that whole experience, that vibe. Also want to give a shout out to Ni no Kuni 2. Not a lot of people are still talking about it, but I did enjoy that game. I won't deny.
I'm gonna try to go through that on my break between jobs here. I'm gonna try to beat it. I think it's not that long, right? It's like what 40 hours.
If you mainline the story, you can get it done in 20.
Okay.
But I play with the kingdom building stuff, and actually that game had legs for me that I didn't expect it to. I expected to beat the story.
Yeah,
and
you
be
went
done
back
with
to it
I
for
went
quite
back
a-
to it for a while. Also,
Sweet.
the Red Strings Club is probably up there for me. This is like it's published by Devolver, but I can't think of the developer's name. But it's a really cool narrative, like cool pixel art style. Like it really reminded me a lot of Blade Runner, where there's like they're not replicants, but like they have like implants put into them.
Is this the game where you are a bartender?
Yes. And that is
Okay.
the central game mechanic, is that like people come in to tell you stories, and you make them mix drinks in order to like get them to tell, like, because different mixed drinks have different effects on people's like
That's cool.
honesty or how much they want to open up to you and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting.
Cool.
And it has like
Yeah.
just a really cool like sci-fi story just generally.
Yeah.
Then obviously God of War. Then the thing that I'm like, it's not a perfect game, I am aware, But I'm having so much fun playing Mario Tennis Aces, like too much. I've played it. I have like 150 matches now, which a match takes probably 10 minutes. So do the math on that. The story mode is not good. The game Bowser Jr. is incredibly overpowered, and every time I come against the Bowser Jr., I want to fucking blow my brains out.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
Heard.
What's wrong with him?
He can get to everything. Like you can't get anything, but he's a defensive character, which means that like he has more movement and momentum than everything else.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to limit your like offensive capabilities, you would think.
But
he's just not. He's just as good as fucking like Mario or any of the all-around characters in that part of the game. So he can like, and like trick shots, the way trick shots work is like dumb because like they allow you to get to balls that you would normally be able to reach, but they also charge your meter up, which is broken as fuck because that should drain your meter.
Well, if everybody leaves against Bowser Jr.,
that's what happens. And people play Bowser Jr. less now. But I put up a video for Friday, and you can see the beginning of it is me quitting against 4 straight Bowser Juniors, and then I played a tournament, lost the final, haven't won a final. I've been to 8 finals right now, have not won a final.
That's so heartbreaking.
It hurts. Then I was like, I was just gonna put that up as the video, and then I put up another. I actually did another final. I was like, fuck it, I'll do another one. And in that tournament, I played 4 of my 5 games were against Bowser Jr. It's not like it's like absurd how overpowered he is, and everybody just plays it. But the game is like I have so much fun with that game. I won't.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
But then I think for me, game of the year is between God of War and Celeste. For me, Celeste is definitely. It kind of like I don't want to say it changed like because there's other like puzzle platformers and stuff like that have had stories and stuff like that, but I don't think one has been as impactful as Celeste was.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'd argue that like
no, please tell me.
Super Meat Boy like made more of a splash in the platformer.
It made a splash. No, wait, and I'm saying from a narrative perspective.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, Super Meat Boy is not fucking the same.
No, I'm sucking gameplay, and that's
on a
gameplay
perspective. Yeah, totally. There are other games that like are more.
I got Celeste hyped up for me too much because I went in expecting like a feat of like storytelling and narrative, and I was like, all right, I get it. It was cool. Like, it definitely had something to say, and I appreciated that. But from a gameplay standpoint, I was just kind of like. It's a platformer, even though the guy who made the game that inspired Super Meat Boy. Like, I get it, it's not derivative if you think about it, but I'd just come off the heels of like The End Is Nigh, and I was like, kind of getting burned out. I need to go back. I need to revisit it. I have a meaning to play it again. So.
It's like I don't know, and there is. Then if you go like you just beat the regular game, right? I mean that's what I did too. I'm not shitting on you for that. But like if you do want that extra hard challenge, like all the replay levels, and like I've watched like. Did you watch the Awesome Games Done Quick of people like breaking Celeste and
the task bot?
Yeah, it's fucking
Celeste?
Absurd.
Yeah.
But it's really like, but just the thing that really drives it home for me is just how well the gameplay mechanics and all that ties into the narrative and stuff, mm-hmm. where you can like you're climbing this mountain and she's also like climbing a metaphorical. I don't know. I thought it was very much like it kind of it no 2D like retro style game has touched me in that way since maybe like Shovel Knight or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. Those are few and far.
I thought you were shitting on me for saying that Plague Knight had a really good story when we were talking about Celeste. Yeah. Plague Knight made me feel more than Celeste, and that's me being jaded or weird, and I wasn't expecting it, so it came out of left field. Plague Knight had a very touching story about some of the same kind of themes in Celeste. I won't spoil it, obviously, but about self-acceptance and about maybe not feeling adequate and trying to prove something when you don't need to. It really, I would highly recommend you play Plague Knight. And if you thought Shovel Knight had a good kind of narrative driven gameplay,
I didn't think Shovel Knight had a great narrative. I didn't say that.
No. But
the way it like captured its essence was very cool.
Yeah. Plague Knight, I'd say, is like a distinct improvement from a narrative standpoint. So I would really recommend that.
Cool. Midyear album of the year. Well, this is not a games podcast anymore.
Oh, I got that.
What is your album of the year so far? Just one you want to just rattle off.
Probably Nine Inch Nails.
Cheyenne next after he's done.
Fuck.
Bad Witch by 9 Inch Nails is probably my midway album of the year. Death Grip's got a lot of love. I like it. I will review it on Instagram. I don't love it. I will talk about it more in my 1 minute review. But Bad Witch is Trent Reznor's third release in the trilogy that he's doing, and it's an album. He's calling it an album instead of an EP because it gets more attention, and he kind of made that point. And it's true. Albums get more attention.
Wait,
but
it's an EP?
It's not an EP. It's 30 minutes long. He's calling it an album. No, I know, but he called the other two EPs, and he's like, I'm not going to call this one an EP because it gets buried in Spotify.
Oh, okay. I understand. That's true. Yeah, that's definitely
okay. Yeah. So it's great. It has some really good instrumental tracks. It has a lot of Bowie influence, and Bowie was a big role model for Trent, so that really comes through, and it makes it more emotional for me. It's really solid songwriting. It has a lot more experimental kind of ambient moments, which I enjoy, and it also has those bombastic kind of energetic, violent tracks that you would expect. So
visceral.
Really enjoy it. Really enjoy it.
I wanted you to fucking say that too. You're like the
Suck
bombastic, visceral track.
Did I say? I didn't say those words.
You said bombastic.
Did I say bombastic?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, fuck my life.
It's fine.
Whatever.
It's not, like that's what it
I'm
means.
so
right
hot.
now.
I'm like delirious.
It's like when people say literally, like serious, or like I literally. Can't,
literally.
Like that's what it means now. Like get over yourself.
Yeah.
Language evolves, but I'm just being
exactly.
Cheyenne, what's your favorite album of the year?
I can't think of any that I've listened to that are like, they stick out above the rest, but ones that I have liked are the Courtney Barnett, her new album, Beach House 7, and the U.S. Girls in a Poem Unlimited.
That might be my tide.
Yeah.
U.S. Girls was so fucking good.
It was very good. I just haven't listened to a lot of the new stuff coming out, so all of my women and indie ladies, those I
was
love
shocked
them.
you didn't say Janelle Monáe's album.
I haven't listened to
You
it.
need to listen to it, dude. She came
I
out.
thought it was her weakest album.
No,
yet,
it's not.
in my opinion.
It's not.
I don't like the influences as much. I like the jazzy. I like the.
It's not as jazzy.
I like the poppier, like funky stuff. And
I
this is.
don't know.
It's less.
It sounds a lot like Prince, and Prince is awesome.
It's. I don't know.
Anyway, her album is really good this year, but the number one album is obviously Pusha T's Daytona. It's not even close, dude. It's so.
I want to change my answer.
It's not Kids.
My number one album is Kids See Ghosts.
Kids See Ghosts. Coming around it. I might have been wrong.
You were wrong.
I might have been wrong. I still don't like a few sections of the songs, but
it's so good. Free is so good, and you're crazy.
That song. That's the number one thing I've just changed my mind on. Like it's
so good.
Like listen to it when we play basketball. It's like really fun.
That album is good, but no, Pusha T is fantastic.
It probably goes in terms of those. It probably goes Pusha's, Kids See Ghosts, Kanye's. No, probably Tiana Taylor's, then Kanye's, then Nas. Nas' album sucked. Nas' album is not good.
It turns out he might not have it anymore.
Yeah.
Who would have?
Also, shout out to J. Cole, J. Rock had a good album this year, and Juice WRLD had a good album this year, and Cardi B had a good album this year, and Black Thought had a good EP this year. Anyway, best movie of the year, David, so far.
Hereditary, no question.
Yeah,
Same
Hereditary.
for you. I Hereditary. It's between Hereditary, Black Panther, Annihilation for me. I think, and I'm leaning towards Annihilation. I think is.
I think I'm leaning towards like you're wrong, but that's
Annihilation
fine.
is great.
You're allowed.
Dude, Annihilation. Like, I liked Hereditary, and I read a few interviews with the director like afterward. But I'm not. No movie has made me like do like 3 or 4 late night YouTube like explained binges. The way, and not that that's like always the best symbol of like it's a great movie, but like
let me
movie has
humor
stuck
that.
with me.
Annihilation had very good ideas, and its science fiction was very strong. But the performances and
they're so good. You know,
They're
I don't
not
understand
that good. They're not that good.
They are.
They are.
Oh man,
Tessa Thompson's really good. Like every character in that movie is good.
The whole
when you
scene
mentioned
with
Janelle Monáe, I wanted to say how much I love her and Tessa Thompson. They're the best.
The scene with the alligator, like that whole part was just like corny as fuck.
That part was awesome. The fuck
It's
are you
so
talking
corny.
about? The Tessa Thompson. You guys haven't watched Westworld. It's not great. But the last 2 episodes,
she's in it.
the last 3 episodes are fire, and she has a scene in the last episode that she should win an Emmy for.
Really?
It's fucking insane.
I love her, so...
Is the finale good?
The finale I thought was great. I thought it was fantastic.
Okay, I think it's kind of divisive.
And it, like, yeah, it is very divisive, and it, like, that Atlanta is my favorite TV show this year. We want to keep going down this rabbit hole. But, Westworld,
shit, I need to watch Atlanta.
If all of Westworld was like the last 3 episodes of Westworld, it would have been so good. And there's 5 great episodes mixed in with 5 meh episodes of Westworld. is the problem.
I mean, that's literally
Okay.
Twin Peaks, so.
But
But like the ratio is better, but like there is some real shit episodes of Twin Peaks.
yeah, but
the production company was
Westworld.
like,
There's also this really good where you it's like a whole episode that focuses on like one of the Ghost Nation Native American like characters. That's really
cool.
fucking good.
That's cool.
But the ending is a fucking mind trip. You're not gonna watch it. Just read the Wikipedia summary.
No, I'm gonna
like,
watch
what
it.
is happening.
Do they just like clean up after the first season and go, well, the park's still on, guys. We're gonna just
No.
clean up the mess.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not in the slightest.
I just thought so. It's the androids just being like, hey, we're out of here. Like
There's some. That's the problem is that like the first one was so
self-contained. It was perfect.
And
Yeah.
this one is
I was like,
very,
why are they?
This one is very self-contained too. Don't get me wrong, but like it's just so it has its head up its ass so much. At some points.
Yeah.
Going to the place beyond,
Where-
Teddy.
dude, you don't even know. Dolores like speaks in riddles the entire.
I just
like,
look
she
at her and
sounds
I'm
like
like,
a fortune
oh,
cookie
this-
the whole fucking show, dude. I can't get over it. But
Oh god.
she actually
Her
turns around and is
vacant
awesome in like
eyes.
the last two
Okay.
episodes. But
Okay.
it's worth watching. I didn't watch Game of Thrones last season, and like I decided I'm not gonna watch that show anymore because it has run its course with me. And
Are we caught up?
Yeah.
I
know
don't
that
think
happened.
you should do that to Westworld. I think you should try to watch the second season of Westworld.
Okay.
I was planning on it. It's just that HBO is expensive as fuck, and I'm not about to have it for like 3 months so
Your
that I can
parents are
watch an
gonna get to
episode
watch-
once a week. Yeah, so I'm gonna get it for 1 month so I can watch all of it at
Is
once.
that what you're gonna do with Showtime when the Halo series?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to catch up on My Hero. We're gonna
We
have
do.
2 episodes to watch tonight.
Tomorrow.
Dude, Cheyenne
Wow.
is all my Cheyenne.
It's
she's
so
all
fucking
about it,
good.
dude.
That's my
Dude,
TV
you should watch
show.
it. It's
I'm
so
not
good.
gonna watch it. I don't understand how you guys are into it as much as you are, because you hate superheroes,
What do you mean?
right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and they're
But it's
not
like
like
the same,
different.
right?
No.
No, I don't know. Maybe. No,
It kind
it's,
of is.
It's not.
no, because it's like a.
It's
I don't
just
because
the
I can't
X-Men,
speak to it as
right?
much because it's not. I mean, it's like it's
Kind
like
of.
X-Men.
I'm not like shitting on it. I'm just saying, like, isn't it
It's
just
like
I
X-Men
mean, you can
Academy.
make that comparison, but I think the storytelling is completely different because they're from 2 completely different cultures, and the way that like
yeah, that
Japan
and that's
handles
probably more
like
interesting. Too.
yeah.
This
So-
focuses more on like the personal. I'm not saying that superhero movies don't do this because like Spider-Man: Homecoming did it really well, but it focuses very much on like the emotional impact that this kind of thing
Yeah.
has on young people and like.
And
in
the
that situation.
relationships and
Remember
like
Iron-
it's really
Iron-
good at characterizing.
Iron Man 3 did that and then just erased it in the next one. It was really dumb. Like Pepper's like, I'm gonna leave you, Tony, and then like, all right, she left me.
I didn't see past 1.
What the fuck's
I really
up,
liked
man?
Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 2 and 3,
Yeah?
not good, not good.
No, that's why I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
Worst trilogy of the three superheroes who have trilogies, I guess.
I just like shonen anime, dude. I like big fights.
Of the Marvel superheroes that have trilogies.
I like all the characters in those shows.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm clarifying this like way too much. You guys are like, I don't care. But that brings
It's all the
us
same to
to what we have been playing for the week. And I know, David, you've been flexing your muscles out there on this new Electronic Arts title.
earliest access of the closed alpha of
Yeah.
Battlefield V.
Closed
or 5.
Omega of Battlefield V.
The sealed third.
We're
realm
playing Battlefield 4.5.
Yeah, I got alpha access through We Got Discovered, the site that I write for. And I have been playing the closed alpha. It is 1 map, several modes. I've been playing Conquest exclusively for now. It's fun. It's what you would expect, and there are a few changes that I actually had to watch a GameSpot video on to kind of catch me up on what the changes were from Battlefield 1. So
Yeah, walk
instead of marking people like you do in Battlefield 1 where it shows their little Dorito marker all the time,
how am I gonna know
it
where
only-
to take my Mountain Dew at?
it only gives you a general idea of where the enemy is. So you're shooting at people instead of markers, which I like a lot. And ammo is very scarce. So you start with maybe 3 magazines of ammo. You rely on support characters, which is great, or
Yeah.
little spots where you can pick up ammo. So the team play is very much enforced heavily.
Does that buff support nerfs snipers, I guess, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, basically. And snipers are already nerfed because of the fucking the marking changes, which is
Yeah,
great.
the marking changes.
Because they were awful in 1. They were I think of that one like Middle Eastern map, fucking just being hell because of the sniper perch that was just perfect for them. So there's a few changes like that. The graphics are about a side grade from 1, so I mean you wouldn't expect them to be that much better because that game looked very good. The map that we're playing on is very snowy. There's a lot of shitty ambient occlusion, blur, chromatic aberration, film grain crap that I have to turn off, and I really hope I can turn those off on PS4 where I get it. If not, it's gonna look a little weird. But that being said, there are a few more changes to like medics. So instead of picking someone up instantly, you have to go over them and kind of do a little animation. So when you kill 3 people in a squad, you're not like, if there's one left, they're just gonna, breed like rats and then come right back. It's very much a process to pick someone back up, which is nice, and you get more points for it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It feels good to play. It feels very good to play, like all the Battlefields do. They're definitely emphasizing team play more, and but there are women, so I forgot. It actually sucks. I forgot. There's women in the game, so just throw it all out.
Don't forget there's Battle Royale too.
Yeah, I can't play that yet, unfortunately. I am excited to try it. Yeah, but the game is fun. It has the games have been great since fucking forever, basically. So if you like Battlefield, that's kind of a cop out, but I mean it's a great game.
Fans of the genre.
Nah, not even that. Just like fans of like good shooters with kind of fun, goofy team-based gameplay that don't take it too seriously, I guess, because that's just kind of the moral of the story. Because the games are so big, but. Yeah, it's fun. There are a few glitches here and there, but it's alpha, so we'll see how that changes as we go on. But yeah, I mean, it's a good Battlefield game for sure.
Cool.
Not much else to say.
Cool. Cheyenne, you've been playing a shooter. Tell me about Splatoon some more. Splatoon 2.
Yeah. So I've been playing it like nonstop. It's kind of unexpected, but I guess this is the type of like third-person shooter for me. I've been playing the ranked modes. I finally got my level high enough so I can play that. So like the normal mode you play is Turf War, where you have to have more of your ink on the ground than the other team. But then in ranked, there's like a whole bunch of other modes where like they reset every 2 hours, and there's like one where you have to carry this weapon all the way to the other team. There's like a football mode where you throw clams into the enemy basket. And then there's like one where you have to do like control a zone or 2. Mm-hmm. And they're all super fun. Like I've been really enjoying them. I'm getting my rank up to like a B- right now with all of them. You start at C- and work your way up the grading scale to like S+. And then I've been doing a lot of Salmon Run, which is another kind of thing. It's a PvE mode instead of PvP.
Is Salmon Run the one where they do like wacky like mayonnaise versus ketchup kind of stuff? Is that what that is?
No,
that's Turf War.
Okay,
That's the main game
mode. Yeah, they do like Splatfest like every
Those
so
are
often.
fun. I really like
They
those.
are fun. It's just the normal mode. You pick a side, and then whoever wins so many at the end.
Pearl is always the right answer. So they say Pearl's our girl, dude. She had
love her.
She's the
she had knights over ninjas.
Yeah.
She had mayonnaise over ketchup. She's always the right answer.
I wouldn't have picked that one.
Even though I like Maria
did pick
more.
Pulp in the last one. Pulpy orange juice. And we won.
The community is really funny with those. They post funny drawings.
Like there's that little lobby where you enter into, and like people have like little drawings that they have like a status message, or like there'll be like really intricate drawings, or there'll just be like funny memes. Like people have been posting Lost a lot recently.
Of course they have.
Yeah, so or like they've been saying like Happy Pride, I'm gay, like shit like that. Just completely random. But yeah, the community is really awesome. It's really fun. Like there's so many different like modes and things you can play. Like there's the single player campaign, and then there's the Octo expansion now. So I can see myself playing this for many, many more hours to come.
Good. It's nice to know somebody that Mario Tennis Ace is not gonna blow up. Clearly not gonna care, but I'm enjoying that game a whole bunch. But
yeah, man, we need holdovers. It's been a fucking dry spell for gaming right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
But so this week I've only been playing really Mario Tennis Aces. I downloaded the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. I'm gonna play that at some point. But,
I downloaded that also, but I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played that yet. But the biggest game of them all is the World Cup. That's what's going on right now. We've gone down to the round of 16. I'm gonna tell you all the matchups, and you guys are gonna pick what team is gonna win. You're gonna go back and forth.
All right.
So Cheyenne, the first game is Uruguay versus Portugal. Who's gonna win and why?
And why?
I
God,
know why.
I
Give me your
know.
in-depth analysis as to why.
Uruguay, because South American teams do great.
South America. She's got a South American bias. She's also a big fan of Luis Suarez, who, if you remember from last year's or 4 years ago World Cup, bit a man on the shoulder.
Yeah, big fan.
Fuck
Big
is
fan
Portugal?
of him.
Okay.
Portugal is right
It's
next to
in
Spain.
Europe. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So David, your pick. You get to pick between France and Argentina. Who do you want to pick?
We say Argentina because I feel like France will spend a lot of time on injury calls.
Okay.
And that's gonna really cost them in the extra time. Argentina is gonna come back and score in that last. I'm gonna say 6 minutes of extra time.
6 minutes. You're predicting the amount of extra time. This is absurd. This is advanced analysis here. He's gonna say Lionel Messi is gonna get the soccer god is gonna. Did you see? Former Argentina player Diego.
Well, Messi's been making a fool of himself. This
he's
World
had a
Cup,
very
hasn't
bad
he?
World Cup so far. He did score a goal that won them a game, but Argentina's former, he's kind of the savior of they won 2 cups with him. Diego Maradona was at the last game in which they went through, coked out of his fucking mind, dude. Just hilarious, like to watch. He fell asleep about 30 minutes in. Woke back up around after halftime, and then when they finally scored the winning goal, he was flipping off people. It was fucking great. If you
What is this guy's name?
Diego Maradona. But also, there's also like when the country was doing the national anthem, he was like at a stadium where there's like the thing in front of you to protect you from falling. Like if you're on the second deck, like there's a thing you can kind of lean over to protect.
Okay.
He was like on top of that, like arms outstretched while they sang the national anthem, and like some guy was holding on to him from behind to make sure he didn't fall. It's wild.
Jesus.
So next, Cheyenne, we got Brazil versus Mexico. Who are you picking in this one?
You gotta pick Brazil.
You think Brazil?
You know, you gotta.
I need your.
They win most of the time.
Most of the time. She is correct. This is high class analysis for Cheyenne. They do have the most World Cup wins at 5 of any nation. They're also featuring Philip Coutinho and Neymar, who of course are big names.
Of course.
But Mexico's overperformed. They beat Germany. They backed into it really because Germany got beat by South Korea. But Chicharito, I feel like, is gonna have a big game there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next up, we got Belgium versus Japan. David, who you got going through?
If I'm not wrong, which I might be, Belgium's doing pretty well this World Cup so far.
They are indeed. They're 3-0.
That was my pick for the World Cup. Was Belgium?
Oh, that's true.
So I have to go with Belgium on this matchup. Now Japan were playing very oddly in one of their previous games, right? I did read about this.
Yes.
They were basically just passing the ball amongst themselves.
That was because the way it works is that there are 4 teams in a group, and everybody plays each other once, and whoever the top 2 teams move on. They were playing somebody else that was in second, or they were in second. They were playing the first place team, and about halfway through the game, they're like, "Hey, if we don't do anything, we both go through." And so everybody just kind of passed the ball around for a while.
That reminds me a lot of that cribbage match with
cribbage?
Not cribbage. What's the one with the thing?
Not cribbage.
What's the one with the little feathery tennis thing?
Racquetball. Where both teams were not racquetball. Badminton. Where both teams were trying to.
Badminton, where both teams are just being huge pussies.
I remember.
Reminds me of that too.
It's very. It wasn't as egregious as 1984 when Germany and Poland did this to knock out. A Middle Eastern team or Morocco. No, not Morocco. Maybe Morocco. I'm not 100% sure. To knock them out of the cup, in which fans jumped onto the field to try to attack the German and Polish players because they just.
I mean, you should be DQ'd for this.
Oh, it's disgusting and it's a disgrace to the game. But now we got Cheyenne, who's gonna pick between Spain and host country Russia.
You gotta pick Spain because they're just so good.
They're just so good.
She's a big fan of Golden Boot, second place right now, Diego Costa, who's former Chelsea great, former current Atletico Madrid player. She's also really hoping for a good swan song from Andres Iniesta, who's playing in his last World Cup. And she has no tricks up Putin's sleeve here with the Russian national team playing on home soil.
Do they do drug testing for the World Cup?
They do, yes.
I don't know. Russia's got quite the reputation for that kind of shit, for dosing. True. So,
David, now you have Croatia versus Denmark. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Croatia.
Croatia.
Because Denmark has I'm just gonna guess has not been performing well.
Denmark overperformed everybody's expectations far. Their goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel has won them probably 2 games, and Christian Eriksen,
two teams I know nothing about,
has one of the best goals of the tournament against Australia. But then Croatia's looked dominant. Croatia and Belgium are probably the 2 most dominant teams coming out of the group stages. Luka Modric, they're calling this Croatia's golden generation.
Wow.
So maybe they could perform.
Where's Croatia?
In Central Southern Europe, I'm pretty sure.
All right, cool. Dude, I'm so bad at this shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then Cheyenne, you get Sweden versus Switzerland.
Those are different?
Hold on. Switzerland.
Yes.
Because they have that Albanian dude that did the sweet ass
They
like
did
the
have that.
eagle.
There you go.
I talked about that in my class because we were talking about nationalism.
There you go.
And we talked about the World Cup.
Shaqiri did that, along with his other teammate who also did it. But they did that. They were playing. I don't want to mess this up. They were playing somebody that was like an occupier, like a former like country.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It is one of the. You fucking nailed this, Cheyenne. This is exactly what I was going to talk about when you made your pick. But yeah, so I think with Sweden, of course, are home to one Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who is currently not playing, but was on the cover of the ESPN Bodies issue, which I now want David to type into the computer, ESPN Bodies Zlatan, and so you can see his ass tattoo, because it's fantastic. The ESPN Bodies issue, if you don't know, is where athletes just bear it all with like whatever sport. If you play tennis, you got a tennis racket covering up your dick, kind of thing.
You gotta type in his name.
What's his name?
Zlatan, Zlatan.
That's exactly how.
And you can see his ass in full view.
Nice.
That's cool.
But they do.
God,
this,
it's like a Yakuza tattoo.
They do this with all kinds of people, and just that ass tattoo is next level.
This is wacky. I kind of love it though. It's cool.
And in the last game of the groups or of the knockout stage, first round on the knockout stage, England versus Colombia. David, what do you got for me?
Hopefully Colombia, just because I don't know, just like I've been reading a lot of shit about England fans don't exactly have the best reputation at the World Cup, so I'm just gonna go with Colombia just despite them. England
notoriously underperforms and loses in the most heartbreaking fashion at every World Cup, dating back to 1960 or 1960 is when they won it. 1982, 4, whatever it was, when Diego Maradona, who we were talking about earlier, scored a goal with his hand that he like kind of hit it like this, like just this. Give him one of these and acted like but they counted it, knocked England out of the tournament, and the referee or in the press conference afterward, they're like, "Did you use your hand?" And he said, "No, it was the hand of God." And what has been called the hand of God goal, notoriously in England, some of the worst. Like they also went out in 2010. When Frank Lampard scored a goal that went over the line clearly, that was not counted at all, and they got beat by Germany. Going up against Colombia, James Rodriguez, who's underperformed at Real Madrid, but who had the goal of the tournament last year and who's been playing very well. Harry Kane, of course, the new England fresh star, who's currently in the lead for the Golden Boot at this year's World Cup. But that has been our knockout stage predictions for this gaming podcast.
Just to make me swelter a little longer.
I'm fucking sweating my ass off right
now.
But this has been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 60. You can find us on Facebook.com/CurrentGaming, on Twitter at CurrentGaming_, YouTube.com/CurrentGaming, and Twitch.tv/CurrentGaming_. My name is Charles Blade. You can find me on Twitter at CharlesTula, and on Instagram, where you can look at Charlie's 1 Minute, #Charlie's 1 Minute Reviews. And all of that good stuff. David, I think you're going to be on there next week because you let the cat out of the bag last week about that.
Did I?
Yeah,
Big spoiler.
I thought you did. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. My guy Dave on Twitter for me.
And my guy Dave on Twitter. Cheyenne, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at Poopflowers.
Julio, this has been episode 60 of the Current Gaming Podcast, and peace.